Hello everyone, welcome back for another new episode of Independent Content Studio. Today we have an interview with Ercole Chila from Uncle Pig's Barbecue Pit.
Quit looking at me, swine!
Sorry. I had an incident at the bank today. Some lady got frustrated they ran out of $100 bills. She said, "How can a bank run out of dollar bills?" And if I was to tell her, you know my reaction would have been? How do you still draw breath from all the cigarettes you smoked? Let's go to Mike while I go and clear my head. Mike, take it away, my friend.
Thanks, Eric. Ercole, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry, I didn't know the pig was going to be here today.
Thanks for having me.
Ironically, though, like it's cool.
That's my favorite.
Tell me a little bit about that. You started Uncle Pig's Barbecue Pit. What motivated you to do that?
Just a friendly competition between my two brothers. Started off with, who can make better ribs. They wanted to boil theirs. I wanted to smoke mine, and we had a little competition, and evidently the smoking won.
Well, you say that, but people don't know what that means. Tell us a little bit about, like, brag just for a few minutes. Like, talk about the awards that you've won recently. And
Well, we've won the KCBS Team of the Year in 2022 out of like 15 or 1,600 teams. We won the Jack Daniels Invitational. That's a world championship. We also won 28 grand championships and 25 reserve grand championships. That's second places. And then there's been a whole ton of firsts and seconds in the category wins.
I'm sorry to jump in on that, but when people hear barbecue competition, like, I don't think they even understand what it takes.
No, it's nothing like you would think at a backyard cook-off. It's nothing like that. I mean, you have one opportunity one bite of food of either the four categories to make a difference. They have one bite. You have to wow the judge with one bite. So it has a lot of flavor, a lot of moisture, all in one bite.
How long did it take you to kind of get the hang of that?
I started in 2011, 2018 maybe. I think 15 was our first grand championship. That was in Wildwood, New Jersey.
That's awesome. So right in our own state was your...
Yep. Then we thought, like, we got this. This is going to be easy. Next year, not one call.
Yeah.
Not one call. Yep.
So...
Most hung up the smoker at that point.
That's what I was going to say. So how does that make you feel? Like, you do all these competitions, like, you don't get calls?
Well, I mean, there's also, most of the competitions, there's like 35 other really good teams there that they're just as educated as I am in this sport. Everyone goes to classes now. Everyone has classes now. So yeah, it's a tough field, no matter where you go. Like the Jack is, that's 127 grand champions. You have to win a grand champion to at least one grand championship to get there. So it's pretty intense, that competition.
So it's an invite, like
It's invite, yeah. You have to win to get invited.
That's pretty cool. I watched a lot of the pictures and the videos that you've put out when you're going to those places. And
it's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of riding, long rides.
A lot of dedication too. So what are some of the things that people don't see? Like what's it take to do a competition on a Saturday?
So to get on a competition, get ready for a competition, it starts off for me on Monday. After work on Monday, I would go to Philly someplace to find a giant and get chicken. And I would buy how many contests that day. Sometimes they have a double, so I'd have to get that many pieces of chicken. It would be sometimes in the 30s to get chicken, to get 6 good pieces for each contest. And then I'd get home, and then I'd have the ribs out, the brisket out, and the pork would be thawing. And the next day I would trim chicken, and that's usually an all-night affair. It's usually from the time I get done work till 11 or 12 at night, because we actually do a lot of different things to it. We trim it to where it's like a hockey puck, a little bit more square than a hockey puck. Then we actually even glue the skin on, so when they have one bite, the skin doesn't come off. Then it's rib time. The next day is ribs and pork, and then on Wednesday it's brisket, and then Thursday sauces and injections. It's all week affair.
It's crazy, and you're getting ready the entire time to go to potentially have people judge you on a bite.
Yeah,
and that's it.
One bite, just one bite. It's interesting.
I knew he was going to have something to say. This guy, one of the most dedicated to his craft too. So it's funny because you're very particular in the way you do things. And we introduced Esteban in the last episode, and he's big time, which is leading me into what we want to talk about a little bit too is the recap of what we just got done doing together, which was Friendsgiving.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And seeing how you prepared for that. Like we brought you a bunch of food. You prepared it. We made about 1,500 meals.
Yeah.
And we could have done it without him, right? Like, I mean, what was that like for you? Because I don't think you got to see that side last year of him.
It's a lot of work. Mike Licordello, him, your Uncle Vince, in the kitchen. It's like warfare.
They're mean to us. They kicked us out. We didn't even get to stay.
Lovingly. Very lovingly.
Yeah, we got a taste of it. I mean, it was funny, and I wanted to invite you on because I don't think people realize how much work it actually is to do. Like I know I didn't. Like when
What, the 1,500 people?
Well, no,
Or
even
the
just
barbecue?
prepping, like having that. Well, the 1,500 people, we can talk about that. Like that, I have no idea because how that even started was you volunteered to cook for me,
Yeah.
right, and said we'll feed a bunch of people, and I was like, oh, we'll figure it out. And I had no clue what I was doing. Like, and as you saw, like I was like, I'll collect a bunch of stuff, and then you'll figure it out. And that's exactly what happened.
In a nutshell, yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah. So why were we able to pull that off? Like, what was it that you were able to do for us?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of people that were dedicated to helping. I mean, Mike Licordello, my wife, and Esteban, all kinds of people. I mean, the garage was full. It was full of people in and out. The people at my gas station taking over for me when I'm out there. I mean, all that's part of it. When you donate, you donate. Everybody's got to get involved.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's Garrett to our point, like the crew, like you can see you guys, like I love it, man. Like we have a weird situation going on here. We created an independent content studio, which you're sitting in, and all of us get together and create content. But the first two things that we did together was the haunt and now Friendsgiving. And every member helped, like a lot. Like a lot of this stuff that people don't see, like, helping us collect the food and bringing it here, or, cleaning up this space so we can do this tonight, getting together. And just like you said, like your employees stepped up when you weren't there. Well, ours do the same, and it was just awesome putting everybody together and having a good time. Like really, like the people that came out, just the overall atmosphere. Like we were disappointed, honestly, because we wanted to do 1,500 in Paulsboro.
That's a lot of people.
I know it is.
It's a lot of people to show up. I mean, I didn't get a chance to look at any of the lines because I was really busy up there.
Yeah.
I looked back once in a while, and it was long. There was a lot of people.
Yeah, to drive through, we had a nice little setup going, but like we were in banking on. I feel like I didn't have enough friends. Like I think that's what it came down to because I was calling it Friendsgiving. So I think I learned a little ego check that I don't have 1,500 friends. I thought I did.
Had at least 650 of them.
Maybe, yeah.
At least.
Yeah, but again, I'm just being a little harsh because like I felt like we were prepared for that.
Oh yeah, we were definitely prepared.
Yeah, and you were just such a huge part of that. And just a little backstory behind that was last year I just started collecting before Halloween, and I was like, you know what, Thanksgiving, like let's fill up pantries. And then Ercole's like, well, what are you gonna do with all the food? I'll cook it. And then you know how that went, right? We're like, okay, well now we have a spot. We got the lot from the township, and we made a makeshift drive-thru, which was your idea. Like
that was a great idea.
Yeah, you know the town, and you know the people, and you were spreading the word, and we couldn't go anywhere. Like everywhere I went, everyone was asking me about the haunt, and they were asking me how Esteban is, and oh, you're working with Esteban now, and like you put up flyers. Like you really crushed it, man, and I really appreciate it.
You guys, you got to get rid of that food. You cooked it all. Somebody got to eat it. and people appreciate it.
Yeah, I stopped in like Heritages, and a lot of people thank me for it. Still, I mean.
That's nice.
Well, you got free World Championship barbecue. I know it wasn't to your standard, which that's the other funny part about that too, is like I'm giving them stuffing like stovetop and mashed potatoes, like instant mashed potatoes. And I'm like, here you go. I know you're great at what you do, but just mix this shit up and make it taste good. And he was like, I can't just do it that way. And you doctored everything up. You did kick me out of the kitchen both years.
Yeah.
You want to go on the record and say
2 times in a row, you're betting 1,000.
I'm doing really well. And your wife managed the stuffing amazing. And I did work my way in to get some good photo ops of me stirring to make it look like I did more.
He took the photos by himself, though.
It's all magic. It's movie magic.
Josie took it for me.
Movie magic, yeah. But to that point, though, like moving on from Friendsgiving and all that, like hopefully we figure out the next year.
We're going to get better at it. I mean, the more you do it, the better you're going to get.
Yeah, I think more, I mean, what's really neat too, for those that don't know, like we collected so much, and this is where I also learned, not only my ego got checked with the friends, but I don't know how to do math real well. So like when I was like in servings, I'm like, oh, 1,500 servings I need, and I calculated how many boxes of stuffing. I think I overshot by, I think we had enough to do like 2,500 or.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuffing. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. And when you said, I don't think we're going to have enough, I'm like, Mike, we're going to have plenty.
You kept telling me, I'm like, no, we need more. And I'm like looking for it.
After
like,
102 turkeys, I think we're going to need more turkeys. I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not. I promise you, we're not going to need any more turkeys.
That was my favorite part though. And I really loved going shopping with you because you knew where everything was. Like the first year I went to the restaurant supply store by myself and it took me about 8 hours. Like I was walking around and he's just like, it's over here, it's this, get this. And I'm like, it ain't enough, you know? And he was patient with me. Patient. I appreciate your patience. And
I was patient. That's all good.
Your family, I like can't say enough about them, man.
Thank you.
Just stepped up to everybody, you know?
Well, it's a group effort from everyone. I mean, you know, to make that much food, to serve that much food, it's, you know, your family too. Vince, Joey, I mean, that's a lot of work up there.
Don't mention Joey.
You mention Joey?
Nah.
Forget Joey.
He gets all the credit. He's my grandmom's favorite. I always try to, we don't mention him.
We'll keep him quiet now.
Thank you. Yeah, but to the future, next year is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. We're going to get started earlier again. Like I'm going to start planning.
Well, now we have a total of what it takes to do 1,500.
Yeah.
You know, we were just shooting from the hip with that number. You know, we probably don't need that many turkeys. We probably don't need 460,000 boxes of stuffing.
We did
4 million cans of vegetables.
You know, though, but to that point, what was crazy was we had Sons of Italy, Tom, which Snap-on, Doherty. We had Weiss Phil, like business owners. We had Creation Academy, D-Dots, Guardian Angels Church. We had St. Paul's. Is it St. Paul's Church? Or what's right across here on the angle? Miss Suter's Church, St. Paul's Church. We had so many churches, Miss Peanuts Church on Delaware here. It was churches, it was communities, the borough.
Yeah.
Michael Gardello, fire chief. Like every Kiana going around and just everybody. Like the town just like embraced everything. And that's so cool. And I just think it's so cool that we were able to go back-to-back months, have 2 really fun events, really cool things that happen in town, and see that like everybody's like wants to see this place be great. Like they want Paulsboro to be great.
Well, you know, Paulsboro gets kicked in the head by a lot of things, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, people are right there always. Yeah. I mean, whether it be this or the kids or something for the kids, anything. It's just a community, a good community.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Like, what's some of the stuff that you've seen over the years, and why are you here, and like, why do you love this area?
Well, I mean, you know, being familiar with the people is important. You know. And like I said, there's a really close-knit relationship with mostly everybody, even the store owners, like you say, Phil, and the people from Heritages, and all the businesses in town. I mean, it just, you know, everyone knows each other. Right. It makes life easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we've said, like, we can do the Paulsboro and feed, but every town around here, and the mayor was on our last episode, and he was saying, like, his goal is he wants the towns around us, to realize, like, we shop there. Yeah. Come here too, you know, like let's have a community like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and to that point, those towns like D-Dot, Swedesboro, Woolwich, all these people, my friends, they were from all over, and they came and gave us, right? Then when we had the leftovers, we were able to bring it to Camp Care. You know, we went, Amy was with us. I know Amy doesn't care right now, it's her whole role in there, she don't give a shit, but she saw it. She's giving me the death stare. But we delivered it, and what was so cool about that was it was a whole facility of people that really didn't have anything, like no resources for them. Yeah. I just, it opens your eyes and it makes you realize, like, wow, man, like I think sometimes I have it bad, or I'm like, I complain, and I'm like, what am I complaining about?
Well, I mean, I know for myself, you know, I have been in business now for like 24 years, maybe, I think it is, 24, 25 years. And the people through Paulsboro and Gibson and the neighboring communities, they kept me busy for all that time, where I've never really had a slow day. Have like 5 or 6 mechanics working. It's, you know, it's a great community. That's why, you know, like I said, it's all kind of like family, you know. They come and they get their car fixed or gas, whatever. It's just, that's why you can't replace that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. So, not to jump around too much, but earlier you mentioned something too. Like you said, everybody's like more educated on how like to barbecue and stuff. You've dedicated like time to like help the community and things like that. But one of the things I've found really fascinating is you put on classes. Like you're a world champ barbecue, and you show people exactly what to do.
Yeah, I show them
Why is that
exactly what I do.
important? Like, yeah,
Well, I mean, it's education for the sport because we were lucky enough to win a lot, and when people don't win, sometimes they get frustrated and they want to walk away. So if you can help them win a little bit, if they the knowledge is given, you still have to go perform. I'm not we're playing baseball. You got to swing that bat yourself. I'm doing my own thing in my competition site. You got to do yours. You know everything I do, so you should be able to at least master some of it. And that's why we do it. I mean, it's just for the sport.
When is your event?
Our next class is, I think, the 17th and 18th of January. This will be our third one. We also do like a practice cook, and we have like 9 or 10 teams, all judges, like a real competition. And people, judges have to, like nowadays when we go to competitions, they'll judge you, and you'll just get a score sheet and maybe a couple comment cards. The way I have it set up at our practice cook, they have to actually communicate with you on their score they're giving you and give you a reason why they gave it to you. It's just to help you perform later on in the year for competitions.
So basically, you have an exhibition cook
Yeah,
to kick
basically.
off the season.
But it's a real
right.
time allotted where you have to have it in a certain time. We're a little bit lenient on the times because most of the time when you go, all the time when you go to competitions, if you're not in by a certain time, you're disqualified. We've been down that road a couple times. So yeah, it's here's a little bit less because we want the judges to write all the comments they have on every protein they're eating.
Cool. I'm not going to brag, but I was a judge.
They threw him out.
How do you become a judge?
They threw him out. He got thrown out again.
I did. I got kicked out of being a judge too. So in my defense, which I do say a lot, in my defense, it's hard to have them he puts the most beautiful food in front of you, and you're supposed to take one bite and then throw it away.
What?
Yeah. And you're not allowed to talk about it either. So you just sit there and eat delicious food, and you're supposed to sit there and go.
Can I collect the judges' food?
Right.
Yeah, so, well, this year, come by because there'll be a whole lot of food left over.
We will definitely be a part of that.
Wow.
Because we're going to be documenting some stuff. Like one
yeah.
of our goals for ICS even, and just my other company, All That's Good, like, we want to start developing some stuff. Like we've talked about
absolutely.
this. And I'm blown away by the fact that you put on cool classes. We've witnessed it. Garrett, last year, you got to see, that place was packed.
Yeah, there was 50 students.
And you were like, I think I need 30 chairs or whatever. We went back, it was standing room only.
Wow.
Yeah, and they come from all over. Like, where do people come from your classes?
We've had Alabama, we've had Florida, Tennessee. I mean, they come. They just come. They want to hear what you got to say. And 85% of the people having these classes, they tell the truth. Other 15 are a little shaky.
Right.
So they kind of use it as a money grab. Well, I won't do that. I can't consciously do that. So we tell them. We flop the book open and they read it right out of the book, whatever I write down there. And I keep a tally of everything I do at every competition. So they could flip back to the first date of the year to the next date of the year, you'll see exactly what happens.
So when you say you see what happens, like you keep track of like what mistakes you made, or like?
Well, no, not a mistake. So what I've made for injections for brisket, and what I did for that, and how I scored, and it will be every contest. I call it my barbecue Bible, and I keep everything in track. So I know, like, man, my ribs are falling off. Let me go back and see what I did 3 months ago. And if it's this, sometimes it's the same. Sometimes I kind of venture off the path, and you do that once in a while. You don't even know you're doing it. You're like, why did I ever stop doing that for? So you have to go back and keep them notes. And if you don't keep them notes, you can never be consistent.
I think that lesson translates to pretty much any industry.
Anything,
right?
yeah, anything you do.
Crazy.
And it's hard for a team that does like 10 contests a year to be very, very consistent. I mean, we do 37 to 40, and that's almost every weekend. Sometimes there's 2 a weekend, so it's a lot of driving. And that's how we're lucky enough to stay consistent. The last 3-4 years we've been 5 years, we've been in the top 10 in KCBS out of all them teams every year.
What is KCBS? Just
Kansas City Barbecue Society.
Yeah, so that is like if you look up their website, which I've done, you can go through and see like I'll say it in a dumb way. You can correct me, but basically, you can track teams' performances. They say what tournaments are eligible for their rankings, which is a funny story too, because when you first started winning, people didn't believe that somebody from New Jersey was capable. What happened?
Yeah,
with
that's we're kind of like looked at as we're New Jersey. What do you know about barbecue? Then we were the second team in KCBS history to win Team of the Year from the East Coast. So yeah, they had to eat a lot of crow on that one.
Hear that, crispy
More than
bacon?
once.
Crow. We eat crow instead of pig.
I respect that immensely.
I figure while he's here, we might as well talk to him once in a
Maybe
while.
a cookie.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like, I mean, literally, so crispy bacon, it was either a choice between the pig or what's the other, Mark, friend that you have that you bring?
Oh, the clown?
Oh, he has a clown. So we thought,
I like crispy bacon.
Yeah, crispy bacon seems a lot.
I do like crispy bacon too.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're gonna have a debate because
Okay.
that's coming up in a couple minutes.
Take your
So,
time.
Eric, we're coming back to you soon, okay? I know
Okay.
you're ready to do your drum solo. So when we talk about you do 37 a year, how does that affect like your life? Like, I mean, that's a lot of dedication.
Well, it takes a lot. I mean, because doing a whole week, I'll have to slip a softball game to watch my daughters play, or I'll go to a concert with my kids, or we'll go to a play or something. So that kind of puts me back a day. So then it's a 2 o'clock in the morning deal. Whatever time you slip away, you got to make it up somewhere. And sometimes I will leave a little later because I want to go with them to do something. Most of the time, they're 7-8 hour rides. So we'll leave like Friday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning to get where we have to get to. So it's a lot of dedication. It is. I mean, I miss a lot of stuff. I mean, if my wife she's an angel with that, because she takes care of my kids. She does everything with my daughters, and she lets me go do my thing.
Right. How do they feel when you win and stuff? Like, what's that like? Their family? dynamic?
They're cool with it. Sometimes I come home with a bunch of trophies. They don't even look. They don't even know. Like, yeah, did you win? I'm like, yeah.
His garage is pretty impressive, right? With all the different sculptures. Like, I mean, that's the thing that gets me is like the actual trophies. When you hear trophy, you're like, oh, it's a trophy, but some of that stuff is like priceless art that you.
It is. The ones we won from we won in Alabama. That one sculpture is that big. I mean, I hang all my medals on his horns. It's a lot.
What's
really
your
big.
favorite thing you think?
What's my favorite thing to
your
cook?
Your favorite
Contest? I'm going to have to say Wildwood, New Jersey one. That's also a very, very difficult thing because we actually vend there.
Right.
And we'll vend for, 15, 18, 2,000 people. Not just directly to us, but there's more than that, but that's how much we probably get during that couple days there. So then I have to do competition on top of it. So once again, my wife, she pulls through for me and does a lot of that stuff with me, and everybody that helps us.
I think that's an interesting thing too, and we'll talk about this as we start doing more with you.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike Licardello, for instance, he has his own barbecue team. My Uncle Vince, he helps you. What's that like, the camaraderie? Like, I mean, they actually help you with this
So,
stuff.
I mean, when he comes with me, he comes to competitions with me. He knows I'm not holding nothing back. So whatever I do, if he feels like doing, he's more than welcome to do. Sometimes, you don't want to do what somebody else does. You want to kind of do your own thing,
Right.
You don't want to hang your success on somebody else's, shoulders. And maybe that's what he doesn't want to do. Sometimes he does his own thing, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, that's for all of us. We all do the same thing. I've taken classes, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So I wouldn't do it. I would do my own thing, and sometimes backfires.
But the dynamic, I think, is interesting. That like you.
We're
trust
like
and
brothers.
share. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we're
then
like
you
brothers.
compete
I mean,
against each other, though.
Yeah, whatever I know, he knows. Whatever I do, whatever I have, he has. I mean, that's just how we are. And the same thing for me. Whatever he has, he gives to me. I mean, without even blinking an eye. I mean, he even helps me. Sometimes when we cook things, he helps me with that. Because it gets to be overwhelming. Like if I'm stuck somewhere else, like sometimes I kind of double book, and I'll go to a competition, then there'll be a party to do. Mike will take care of the party for me with my wife.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I went before Wildwood, I went and visited your garage, and Mike was there prepping briskets. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, is this for the competition? He's like, no, it's helping him with the vending. I'm just packing them for today. And I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah,
you know?
no, we're like brothers, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, my last little thing is, what's your goals for this upcoming year? Like, what's the plan?
I was planning on stepping down a little bit, maybe doing like 20, maybe. Once it gets started, you know, the biggest problem you have with competition is if you win early, then you're stuck. Then you're like, I got to keep going. I just got to keep going. You know, then it becomes a race, you know, because, you know, there's actually, you know, quite a few good teams. But if you're lucky enough to win one early, then you see your name on top of the leaderboard, you don't want to lose the leaderboard. You want to keep going. So hopefully, if we don't win, I can step back just a little, take a little bit more time with my kids and stuff. But if we win early, here comes 37 again.
Is Art still here? Art, I'm going to relate this to sports now, like the Triple Crown, right? In racing, like horse racing. Is there like a Triple Crown of barbecue?
So you can do, I mean, there's a couple big ones. The biggest one is the American Royal. The Jack Daniel's is the biggest one for me. The American Royal we don't do because we had a problem with them.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you want to hear the story, but
If you want to tell it, you can, certainly. If you feel
we were there a couple years ago. And
well, before you do that, though, American Royal, what does that mean? Like, what is that? Like, what is
the American Royal?
Yeah, where is
American
it?
Royal is in Kansas City. It's in Kansas City Speedway. There's like, at this contest, there's two. There's an open and there's an invitational. So, in the open, anybody can enter, and there's usually 500 teams there.
Wow.
And the invitational is just like the Jack. You know, you have to win to get in. So there's usually like 130 or 140 teams there. So when we went a couple years ago, you know, my brother Dominic, before he passed, made me dessert tray, and somehow or another disappeared. And I asked the people from there if they could just show a picture of it, you know, just say it had a lot of sentimental value. I'd really like to get it back. And they told me no. So, and I'm like, why would you not just show it? And they said, well, because you're accusing somebody of stealing. I'm like, well, it's missing. It's mine. So somebody stole it. And they wouldn't do it. So I told them I would never go back. So I haven't been back yet. But to finish off my barbecue career, for say, that's one thing I haven't won. So that's one of the things I might have to swallow my pride and go back, just to try to win there.
So that might be a goal for 2025.
Maybe, probably.
You're thinking about it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've won Team of the Year, we've won the Jack Daniels, and now the American Royal is the only thing left that's a major. We actually are on the verge of becoming a
Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame, yes. I can't believe that, but that's what they told me. So, because you're on the cusp of becoming one of the members of the Hall of Fame. I'm like, really? Yeah. So that would probably push us over the edge.
What I love about this too is like Paulsboro, we did a wrestling, you know, they're known for wrestling, football, sports, like, you know, home of champions, you know, and like you're another champion right here in Paulsboro, and I just don't. Like I can't stress that enough. I don't think people realize that. Like they don't get it. Like how much you do for that.
It's you know, it's a very big accomplishment in the world of barbecue.
Right.
Especially being from where we're at. You know.
Right.
But you know, this is things that I spoke to Mike about when I first started. I'm like, why not us? We have all the good stuff. We use the same meat they use. Why not us? And it came to fruition.
Pretty cool. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Bacon, you got anything to say over there? Because we're going to start a debate now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you got anything to say before? Amy, I know you really want to pipe in, right? You really want to...
I'm ready for the debate.
All right. So, because you're a world champ, I am going to ask you, what is the proper way to eat bacon? Is it crispy, chewy? I call it juicy, not chewy. Like juicy or crispy?
Crispy. Crispy and out of the oven.
Out of the oven?
Mm-hmm. Put it on a cookie tray, let it go like 250, 350.
Crispy.
Crispy.
What do you think? Crispy?
Burnt like the depths of hell.
Okay. Eric?
I'll settle for crispy.
Crispy. You guys are just lying because he said crispy. You guys are so...
Getting smacked around right now.
Dude, they're all lying, though, because earlier, before you got here, we had this debate, and it was like...
To my defense.
Hey, Mike.
No, I'm not saying anything yet. Let's go to Garrett and Kappler. Crispy or not crispy?
Crispy.
Crispy, baby.
Crispy.
You say crispy too, huh?
I agree. That's how I would eat it.
Crispy?
Yeah.
Well, you
course.
changed those quick.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's exactly how I do it. Crispy. I mean, you guys figured you settled the debate. There's no debate, I guess. Crispy bacon. I like it.
Too crispy. He started saying that
He started with
wanted
the
it,
little flimsy, floppy looking.
No, I never
he
said
wanted
that.
it moving around as you're eating it.
When did I say that?
I'm just saying.
Rewind
Mike, you're
the
sounding
tape.
like a real follower over here, man.
When did I ever say that crispy wasn't the way to eat it? Is it on camera anywhere?
The crew don't lie.
This is unedited, so we'll go back, rewind it, and I agree. Crispy's the way to
For all of
go.
our viewers at home,
Yeah.
make sure you rewind and see what Mike said.
But you know, the other thing is just, this is video is just today, so it doesn't cover what he said in the past.
Thank you. We need to do that more often when Kappler speaks. Like, can you just follow him around with a portable drum set like that and just,
I can work with it.
yeah, I
can work
think
with
you
it,
got it. We're going to go to your rant in a few minutes. So before we do, though, Ercole, thanks so much for being our
Thank you for having
second
me.
guest ever, on our second show ever, on the independent content show. My mic pack fell. Sorry. We have this really nice app that they can show me
I've seen
when
it.
something's going on. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty neat. How does I keep having it? It was in my pocket. I want to put
Mine's
it
in my
back.
hood.
I think the audio guy didn't plan it on me properly. I'm not going to complain about audio because he's sensitive. But typically, when an audio guy puts the mic on you and then he straps it to you, he'll keep it all like in a good spot.
Mine's in
This
my
guy
hood.
just threw it at me. He just threw it at me.
seen
he was
it.
like, "Here, yeah, you were here.
I've
You
seen
saw
it,
it.
yeah. I can vouch for you.
See,
Crispy.
crispy bacon.
Thank
so
you
what do
very
do?
much.
Crispy
Ercole.
bacon.
I appreciate the help with that.
I
Thank
think
you.
your pig's got a new name. His name is Crispy Bacon.
Crispy bacon. His name is Crispy, actually, and that is the right way to eat bacon.
Well, for me, there is no right way to eat bacon because I can't promote that because it would be promoting cannibalism to my kind.
So you're not into the bacon then? Well, actually, you know what, Ercole, since you're still here, Crispy, would you mind us asking Ercole about you? Like, can you just be quiet for a second and listen? If you had to cook Crispy, where would you start?
On him,
Yeah.
it would probably be the pork butt part of him. It's the
Ooh.
shoulder.
That's the
That's the shoulder.
What do we make with the pork butt? Like, what is that?
We use him for pulled pork, and on the competition circuit, there's part of that shoulder is called the money muscle. It's actually part of the pig that has different serrations in the fat. That's where you make your medallions from. Yeah, he'd be out here with no shoulders.
What do you think about that, Crispy?
What the hell?
Looks like somebody already started an eye roast on him there on the.
Oh, an eye roast, I get. The joke off is at the end. We're doing the joke off at the end. We gotta let Eric do his rant first. He's got what grinds his gears. So we're gonna cut over to Eric at the drums where he's gonna grind his gears.
Okay. You really want me to grind my gears?
I
Mike?
do. I want to know what grinds your gears, Eric.
Okay, what grinds my gears? Well, let's start with people who answer text messages or phone calls from people they don't know. Here's a simple question. Would you let a stranger into your house? No? Good. You're not as dumb as you think you are. Okay, you want a dad joke? Let's change it up a bit. Here's your dad joke. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have any guts. What oranges and sounds like a parrot? A carrot.
Wait, say that one again. I didn't hear that one. What was it?
Oh, what's orange and sounds like parrot? Sounds like a parrot. A carrot.
Did Kappler write that? That has to be a Kappler joke.
I got better ones.
Did you write that?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got better ones.
All right, we're going to go to you next. But,
What do you-
all right, Eric, what's your next one?
All right, my last one. Why did the golfer bring extra pants? In case he got a hole in one.
All right, Kappler's turn.
What do you call a rooster that does algebra? Mathematician.
I hate that I laughed at that. Is that it? Is that all you got?
No, I got thousands of them.
Okay, you want to do one more then?
Yeah, hold
Hang
on.
on, he's got to pull him up.
Oh, he's got to read it.
I can't remember these things.
I got thousands of them.
I got a pet termite. I call him Clint. Clint eats wood. What sound does James Bond doorbell make? Dong. Ding dong.
All right, and speaking of hemorrhoids,
Yes. And speaking of hemorrhoids, why does YouTube endorse a product about people having trouble with taking a dump? First things first, we don't take dumps as human beings. We leave dumps. Number one. Secondly, if your product works, just sell it to the hospital. Do you imagine how many people who need that? Thirdly, nobody cares about issues concerning your bowel movements. That's why they're your problems.
and
We will also have a puppet show. Really, a puppet show now. Well, if we're at least going to have this, we can at least make it X-rated version of the Muppet Show. Avenue Q already beat us out, but hey, we need to try harder. And now for our puppet show.
well, crispy bacon. You got anything to say before we tune out?
I just want to say that my shoulders are not the money muscle, at least not yet, because I've been going to the gym a lot and I'm working on that. And Ercole, if you try to cut that off, I'm just letting you know now. I will find you, and I will kick your ass.
Who's threatening you? He said that his shoulders are not the money muscle, and he will find you. He's not scared of you, he said.
You ain't got to look too far. I'm sitting right here.
Whoa, hear that, pig? Crispy bacon, he said, bring it. You ain't moving too fast.
How can I move so far when I have a hand? Never mind. That'd be giving away too much.
Okay, so speaking of hemorrhoids, is that it for tonight's show? I think that might be our end. Garrett, do we have anything else to add? I mean, you were pretty quiet. Or do you want to do any Kappler jokes?
No,
No?
I am not prepared.
Esteban, anything you want to say? You want to add anything?
Thanks to everybody for tuning in. And thanks again, Ercole.
Anytime.
Everybody else.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
we'll hear if Amy wants to say anything. And thank you for that. Thanks, Ercole.
Bro.
You'll probably never come back, but we want to invite you.
I mean, if you invite me, I mean,
Yeah, we'll
I had
invite
fun,
you.
man.
Wait until the musical. Wait. Are we cutting or what? All right, let's cut. When we do the musical, it'll be fun. Oh, the crispy bacon musical.